So for some of y'all might have saw this video right when it got uploaded, but there's actually more information that just came out right when it went live, which is SSSniperWolf actually had a response. He actually finally discussed all of the shit that went down. So I'm going to include this at the tail end of this video. The first part of this video is going to go over YouTube's response to the situation, and then the other part is going to be SSSniperWolf's actual response, because now she's talked about it. So here I was getting ready to play Spider-Man 2, which is what you see in the background. Pretty excited for the game. But I was recently notified of a tweet that just came out from YouTube, and they actually addressed the SSSniperWolf situation directly, which, surprise, surprise to anyone that has been keeping up with this, their response isn't good at all. The response is as good as SSSniperWolf's content, which means it isn't good at all. It's just awful. And I wanted to go over it real quick just because I've been making so many videos on this, and of course I want to make like the finale to it. I said in my last video, if YouTube actually replied back, I was going to talk on it. So of course I'm going to talk about it because I'm a man of my word, and I know I'm going to get asked a lot in the future about this. Did you see YouTube's response? Did you see the response? Did you see what they said? Yes, I did see it. And that's why I'm making this video. So here's a tweet that Jacksfilm posted back in October 13th, and now YouTube has finally replied back October 20th, 2023 at 11:37 a.m. And this is what they had to say. Confirm it, SSSniperWolf has received a temporarily monetization suspension per creator responsibility policies. Off-platform behaviors that put others' personal safety at risk harms our community, and the behavior on both sides, which I don't understand what the fuck they're talking about, isn't what we want on YouTube. Hoping everyone helps move this conversation to a better place. What on God's green earth are you talking about? What do you mean move this conversation to a better place? It is not everybody else's fault that you kept ignoring it. This is such a passive aggressive sentence at the end. It's like, man, why don't y'all shut the fuck up about this? God, leave me alone. Like, I'm not going to give you an answer until like you finally force me. That's what it feels like reading that. Like, it feels like they're so upset that people keep bringing it up over and over and over. And they're like, God, shut the fuck up. People will once you give an answer, and I guarantee this answer isn't going to make things better. This is just as bad. To sit here and say that the behavior on both sides isn't what we want on YouTube. What are you talking about? This man's life was literally put at risk. What behavior on both sides? What could you possibly say that Jax did on his side that was the behavior we don't want on YouTube? What, talking about it? Bringing light to it? Bringing awareness to it? Is that what it is? Because now people are sitting there putting your golden child on the spotlight, and everyone's trying to ask that you actually give her a punishment for that things that she did. Is that so fucking crazy? Like, what? The fact that YouTube would write that in a tweet and say we don't like this behavior on both sides, and pretty much just sitting there condemning Jack for what he did, as if him posting about it online trying to bring awareness and attention to it was the worst thing known to mankind, when in reality, if anyone's been on the internet long enough, the only way to get YouTube to actually do something is to post it on Twitter and actually gain traction, which is sad to even say that as it is, but that's literally the only way YouTube ever acknowledges anything. So of course he was going to tweet about it, and then when you didn't do anything from that tweet, then he makes a video about it, and guess what? Everybody else is going to talk about it. If you don't like it, then take action and do things faster. There's nothing that Jack did in this entire situation that puts him in the wrong, or any behavior that he did was even wrong. He was polite, he was kind about the entire situation, he didn't call anybody names, he didn't sit there and say anything rude, he just sit there and kindly ask YouTube to look into the situation and give correct punishment for her actions. And so of course when YouTube goes silent for over a week and never acknowledges it, they never say anything about it, then of course people are going to be upset, and there's going to be follow-up tweets, there's going to be follow-up videos. It's going to happen, but that's not Jack's fault. That's your fault, YouTube. Now, as far as the actual punishment goes, I know a lot of people are probably going to be shocked at it, that they didn't actually get her off the platform, even though realistically she probably should be. But this was probably going to be the best case scenario, even though personally, I still think that the fact that they said temporarily monetization suspension, who knows how long temporary means in their eyes. For all we know, it might just mean, all right, one day you're not monetized for one day, and then you go back to just making money again. There's no shot that they're going to sit there and do this indefinitely, but I do know what people are going to do. They're going to sit there and monitor her fucking channel like a hawk. They're going to sit there and see if they get ads on her videos whenever they're posted, and they're going to sit there and see how long is this monetization a restriction going to be, because I don't know, and maybe this is something I probably should do a lot more digging into, because I really don't know how it's going to work on this end. But if you are a creator, your monetization is temporarily suspended, are they still going to play ads, but they just get the money, you don't get anything at all? I would think that if you're temporarily suspended or you lose monetization on your shit, typically when you're not a YouTube partner, you don't get ads playing on your shit unless YouTube deems, I guess, the video worth it. Maybe they will still play ads anyway. I couldn't tell you, but yeah, this was probably the best realistic situation that was going to happen for this, because at the same time on Jax Films post, he said at YouTube, demonetize this dangerous creator or just get her off your platform. Of course, what are they going to do? Demonetize. But in their little creative way, they just temporarily demonetize, because they're like, you know what, it's just a oopsie whoopsies, a fucky wucky. She's going to learn her lesson and she won't do it again, even though there's a lot of other questionable content that has been on her channel that she has now started to purge and delete, because a lot of people put spotlight on it, which just shows more that the shit that she's been doing probably wasn't following YouTube's TOS, and she should probably get punished for that content as well too, because YouTube has no problem retroactively punishing creators that have breaking rules, even though they didn't really exist back then, even though I'm gonna be real too, these rules still existed back then, but just for the sake of today's society, if you will, today's YouTube rules, they're broken. Those videos break all those policies, and YouTube has no problem enforcing that on other creators, so she should get that same type of punishment. Now, is anything else going to happen following this situation? No, I don't think so. I'm actually surprised YouTube even addresses at this point. I guess they really just got tired of people bothering them. But yeah, I just want to give a quick update on this because I know everyone's going to ask me about it. And yeah, I did see it. I think it's a doo-doo response. It's actually dog shit. But at this point, YouTube's going to say, well, we gave you what you wanted. You said you wanted her demonetized. You didn't say permanently. So we did it. We did a temporary suspension. Boom, we all win, right? She got punished, and you know, we didn't like what you did either, Jax, but we ain't gonna demonetize you. All right, be happy with what you got. That's pretty much the response in a nutshell. Hi, Future Wasabi here. We're just gonna get right into it. So SSSniperWolf did make a post as well today, which I find the coincidence, the timing all coming together. YouTube has now confirmed that she has now been temporarily demonetized, and now she has a response on the same exact day. Whew, wow, that's crazy. But let's see what she had to say. Maybe there's something pretty good to say in here. She starts by saying, let me start by saying I'm sorry for my recent actions. It is inexcusable. I'm sorry to Jax Films, YouTube, the entire creator community, and my incredible fans for not being a better example for appropriate conflict resolution. Jax Films, while we certainly don't see eye to eye and have our differences, I'm sorry for reacting the way I did when I should have taken the opportunity to show young creators how adults and professionals resolve conflict by communicating directly, respectfully, and privately. Not for views or content, but a meaningful example of how conflict should be solved. I will reach out directly and hope we can find some time to connect and communicate respectfully. I also like to thank YouTube for holding me accountable. YouTube, the platform, like the ones who demonetize you, is that what you're talking about? Or are you talking about all the creators that are part of this platform that called you out for your actions? Because I'm pretty sure YouTube didn't give a fuck. They only cared because so many people kept talking about it, and videos calling you out were all over YouTube's homepage. She said, I deserve it. Respect the decision and appreciate the opportunity to learn and grow from a true lapse in judgment. So more or less, that's her response. Is it bad? Honestly, it's pretty much the best you can get out of her. I'm not gonna lie. It could be a lot worse. She could have just said, fuck y'all, I'm not gonna even bother with this. So at least there is some form of apology. Whether or not it means anything, it's not for me to decide, and it's not for anyone else really to decide. The only person who could decide whether or not this apology means anything is going to be Jax Film himself. He is the only person that's going to read this and can judge whether or not this was sincere, if it was actually something that he said, you know what, apology accept, or it can be like apology not accepted, because at the end of the day, this situation involved him and her, and it just happened to be online because that was the only way to get attention to it so that YouTube could do something about it. Anyways, I just want to include this part as well into the video because I know it's a major part of the entire situation to not have her response, but only YouTube's part. I don't feel right having just that video up and only covering that, but not this. Anyways, you made this far into the video, consider giving a like, subscribe to the channel, leave me a comment below what you think. Have a great day. Yeah.